How I like to do panel mode on my 40 needle circular knitting machine. First, it's best to mark your machine. I'm using stickies that I have taped on with some Scotch tape. I have it taped to the peg to the left of my 3rd needle and a green piece of paper taped to the right of my 37th needle. This is so I get the least amount of drop stitches, and this is the widest panel I like to do, and I will show you why. We also need to make sure that our machine is set to P for panel mode. So when you are using your Sentro circular knitting machine, tube mode, you can crank your machine around and around and around 360 degrees. If you switch it to panel mode, you're only able to crank it so far. So here's an example where see how it stops. That's how we know we're in panel mode. If you try to crank it the other way, try to crank it backwards, it will eventually stop as well. You can't keep going in a total circle. So this black needle is considered the number 1 needle, and it goes up in increments to the right, where on the 48 needle machine, it goes the opposite way. It goes this way, 1 and up. So the 40 needle is set up slightly differently, the way the needles are numbered, and I don't know why, but the numbers are kind of hard to see anyway, so we're just going to use this black needle as our guide. So as I said in the beginning, we're going to start our panel at the needle that is marked as the number 3 needles from the black needle number 1, 2, and 3. So again, I just get a post-it note and I am going to mark my machine. And this is a really nice visual so you don't get confused on which needle you need to start and stop your panel at. And we'll talk about a little bit later why I use these needles to make my largest panels and not do more needles. And then I'm going to mark the machine 2 ways. I'm going to mark it on the pegs facing me like I showed you in the beginning of the video. That's a good visual for you. But for my video here, since it's a top-down view, I'm also going to mark the inside of my machine so you can always see where these pegs are marked. Where my right hand pointer finger is, that's on the 3rd needle. The peg to the left of it is marked in green. Then we have our 2nd, 1st, 40th, 39th, 38th needle. The peg to the left is marked in green. And so we're going to start our cast on at our 47th needle. And you want the machine position, so we need to crank forward. So you may have to crank it back if you're in the wrong position to put it in the correct position where you can crank all the way forward without it stopping till it makes 1 rotation. So now we're going to cast on. We're going to start at my 47th needle, hook the yarn under the needle so it pulls it down into the machine. Then the next needle we're going to go behind and then in front. So it hooks behind, in front, behind, in front. This is the normal cast on, just like what you do when you do tube mode as well. So we're going to do that every other needle. Every time it goes in front of the needle, it needs to hook it and pull it down into the machine, and you do not want it overly tight. Now we're here at my 3rd needle. See where my peg is marked. This is where we're going to stop. At the 3rd needle is where we stop our cast on, and I'm going to zoom in here so you can see this. There it is, hooked under my 3rd needle. We want to make sure the yarn is under the peg next to it that we marked in green, and then all the yarn is hooked under the pegs all the way around. If they're not, just push them under. Also at this point, it's good to check that your cast on is correctly. Make sure it's over and under each needle. If it's under 2 or over 2, you're going to get a drop stitch. Now put the yarn all the way down into your yarn holder and into the yarn tension bar. And remember, I like to use my left hand for tension as well. I'll have a video linked in the description all about tension. But now we're going to crank backwards for our first row, and the yarn needs to go over that peg again that's marked in green and then catch the 3rd needle, and all of the needles now should catch the yarn from your yarn holder and pull it down into the machine. Now we have cranked our first official row. Once we get back to our 47th needle, it's going to catch that needle, but we need the yarn to go over the peg to the right of that needle. Notice our 3rd needle slightly comes up, and that is okay, but we don't want it to come up anymore. Once we have it hooked down into the machine, and it's over that peg that we marked, now we can start cranking forward again, and it needs to go back over that same peg. It loops around it twice, and this is what creates the tension. and make sure the yarn goes over the peg and hooks the needle as we go around. Sometimes the yarn is going to get stuck on this 3rd and 37th needle. You have to help it out like here. A loom pick is really good, or you can use your fingers or a paper clip and help this yarn out. Do not force it. These are always going to be your problem child needles, no matter what machine you're on, especially in the beginning because it's a weight issue. There's not enough weight. Help the yarn around. Now we're going to continue to go until we're around the peg. Notice our other needle slightly comes up, but we don't want it to come up anymore. And now we're going to start cranking backwards so it goes around the peg again. And then the yarn catches the needle and we're starting another row. Again, we need the loops around the 2 little pegs. There should be 1 loop to make sure we're not getting any tuck stitches as well. Now that we're back to our 47th needle, help the yarn around. You can use your loom pick for this or your finger. Go over the peg. And now when we start cranking forward, that yarn needs to go over the peg again. You might need to help the yarn, have it catch the yarn, and start your next row. So this is what you're going to do, cranking backwards and forwards, making your rows until your panel is as long as you want. Never force the machine. If it ever feels stuck or jammed, stop and check to see if any yarn is stuck on a needle and help it out to push it around. And also make sure that the cast on is not too tight, because it can be really tight for those first and last needles, which can jam up the machine as well. So just go slow. Now I want to talk about these needles I'm going to show you. If you look here, when we get the yarn around the 3rd needle, the 47th needle slightly pops up and a loop comes up. I'm going to show this. I'm going to do a close-up when we get around here. Watch my 3rd needle. When we get back here, there's my 47th needle. I'm going to help the loop around because it needs it. And when we come back, look at the 3rd needle. It slightly pops up, and that is okay. But that's all it needs to do. We don't want it to come up anymore. And that's why I only make this panel this height. When I start cranking forward again, the yarn is still hooked. It's not dropped, even though there's not a loop around the 2 little pegs on that 3rd needle. It makes a different little side seam stitch on panel mode. And that's why I also think sometimes it's hard on the needles and you have to help it a little bit. So if you see that, don't worry, it's okay. You just don't want all the yarn to pop off the needle. And that's why I don't use the 2nd, 1st, 40th, 39th, or 38th needle. It's because the needles come up too far when we're cranking back and forth that all the yarn pops off the end needles and then you get a drop stitch. And it seems like no matter how I've tried it, I'll be able to get maybe a few rows adding more needles. But then when I start to get in that rhythm, I will crank too far and then all the yarn will pop off one of the end needles and then I have to start over. I'm not good at fixing the drop stitches on the side seams because it kind of does that little seam. It never comes out great. So I will opt to just restart over the panel when that happens so I get the best looking seam possible. But doing this way, even though the panel is a little bit smaller, I don't get the drop stitches as much, and this seems to be the safest way. So you can always try adding more needles once you kind of get the hang of making your panels this way. This would be a very beginner friendly way to start learning how to make panels. And if you want to add that 2nd needle or try adding the 38th needle, you definitely can, but you're never going to be able to use at least 3 of your needles. And this is the same on the 48 needle machine. 3 of the needles are never going to be able to use. It's the 48th, 1st, and 2nd needle. You're never able to use those on panel mode. So that's what it should be on the 40 needle machine as well. But and maybe it's just my machine, my needles come up too much and I seem to eventually drop the stitches after about 10 rows. So another thing I wanted to show you is you can get these claw weights. I got them off of Amazon, and after you get a few rows, you can use these if you want to try to help pull the fabric down. And it kind of helps with the those end needles, the 3rd needle and your 47th needle. It's going to help give that weight so the needle has enough force to loop that yarn around the needle, so you're not having to manually have to help the yarn out around the needle. They work pretty good. They kind of hit the screws on the inside, and then also you have to keep moving them back up after you get a few rows done. So sometimes I use them. A lot of times I'm just used to using my hand to crank, use my hand to help the loops around and kind of do that little rhythm. But if you're struggling with the fabric and using your hand to help the loops and a crank, you can look at claw weights. You can also look at binder clips. That's an option you can do too. It's not 100% foolproof. You still have to sometimes help that yarn around on those needles. That's at the beginning, at the end of your panel, especially if you forget to move them back up. There's less weight then for that, so you always have to make sure you're moving them up and up after a few rows, and that's what I usually forget to do. So next in this video, I'm just going to speed this up and show just making the panel, going back and forth. It's the same process until you're done, and then you can cast off however you would like. Now this video was just on how to set up the machine and to make your rows. When I personally use panel mode to make projects, I will start with the waste yarn cast on and do the waste yarn cast off. But you can also do how we cast it on here with your project yarn, and then you can cast off with a needle and thread just like in tube mode as well. But in the description, I will put in a link on what the waste yarn cast on and cast off method is, so you can look at that. So next I'm just going to show you if I tried to use the 38th needle with my cast on. You'll see how the yarn will drop off of it, and I'm back onto my 37th needle. So here I did change where I marked my machine, so you can see that I'm trying to use more needles. You should never be able to use the 3 needles, but I'm trying to use one more. And as I do my cast on, now I'm going to start my first row. I'm at my 3rd needle. Everything else is the same. I'm putting everything under the pegs, making sure everything's tight. I have my cast on done correctly. I want to make sure I go over the peg to the left of my 3rd needle. It's under. Now I'm going to start cranking the other way. It's going around the pegs. I'm cranking forward, doing my first row. When I get back to my needle here, there's my 3rd needle, so it's fine, but I can't crank any further backwards, so I can't get around that peg that's to the right of my 38th needle. So because I can't get around that peg, it's not going to make that side seam stitch. So I have to go forward. That's my only option, right? And so when I go forward, since it's not going to make that stitch, that tail end where I started my cast on is just going to fall off, and I'm back using my 37th needle. So I'm back to how I originally did the video with the cast on. So that's always the issue I run into. And then if I try to use the 2nd needle as well, I'll run into those same issues of getting either the stitches will eventually just drop off and I get drop stitches, or after I do my cast on, it just does not work. So see, I'm just back at my 37th needle. So that's why I start my cast on like I did at the beginning of this video, why I don't use my 38th needle. And the same thing happens on the 3rd needle, and you'll get like a weird tension extra loop if you try to use the 2nd needle. So I hope this video helps with cast on the 40 needle circular knitting machine to be able to make panel mode for beginners. And again, I just always recommend go slow and just do a bunch of practice. That's what I had to do panel mode. Don't go into making your first panel to make a project. Just go in to practice making panels, put on a good movie or some music, and just practice doing panel mode over and over and over again until you kind of get the hang of how your machine works and with making panels. So thank you so much for all the likes, all the follows. I appreciate it so much, and all the comments, and happy crafting, everyone.